Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the broadcast. Well, I've got a rather urgent report to share with you regarding the banking industry. You see, right now, and even since the beginning of this year, there is a massive banker exodus happening right now. Let me just show you a couple of these articles, and they really are jaw-dropping. Take a look here, CNN.com. BlackRock is cutting 500 jobs as Wall Street layoffs continue. That was back in January. Going forward a little bit, BlackRock is still laying off. This is as of June 22nd. BlackRock announces fresh layoffs impacting less than 1% of their staffs. And it's not just BlackRock. We also have New York Post, Goldman Sachs. Skimpy bonuses could lead to yet another 800 workers leaving the company after a bloodbath. That was back in January of this year. And then we have this, New York Post, longtime Goldman Sachs executive Jess Cure just joined the exodus of bankers from the firm in the past couple of months. And it's not just them. JP Morgan is as well. This is CNN. JP Morgan is cutting about 500 jobs. That was in May of this year. Then they also plan to lay off another 63 employees in Jersey City. That's as of July, and that's according to Reuters. Then we have Morgan Stanley jumping in on the bandwagon as well. CNN Business, Morgan Stanley plans to cut yet another 3,000 jobs according to sources, and that's as of May. Then we have Reuters, Credit Suisse Bank leaving by the hundreds every single week, and that was as of May. Then we have NBC News, Silicon Valley Bank quietly laid off some employees as tech firm in its backyard also slashes jobs, and they've slashed about 1.4% of their workforce. Then we also have Bank of America, and this is on NASDAQ. Bank of America plans to cut 4,000 jobs, or approximately 2% of their workforce, and that's as April 2023. Then Wells Fargo as well on Fortune. Real estate slump hits home as Wells Fargo axes hundreds of mortgage bankers days after taking some to California resort. And we also have some of these other banks like Eagle Bank implementing layoffs, branch closings as it navigates through quote unquote difficult periods. So we have a pattern with all of these banks that's been happening ever since early January 2023, from Goldman Sachs to JP Morgan to Wells Fargo to Bank of America to Credit Suisse, to all of these banks mysteriously, bizarrely laying off massive amounts of employees. And I do believe that the reason that this is happening is because we are really looking at some pretty serious things happening in our economy, and all of the banks knows it. All of the banks know it, and even Joe Biden and his administration, and even the mainstream media, but they're absolutely silent. But if you really and truly want to get the full detail of what's going on in society, I mean this wholeheartedly. It's time to get to restrictedrepublic.com. If not me, get to some other platform, because you're only hearing part of the story on these controlled platforms. Get to Restricted Republic. I have exclusive videos that I publish every single week, and it talks about a lot of things that you're not hearing about in any other places. And right now, by the way, you can get it for less than a cup of coffee per month, and I'll give it to you for $50 per year. Use the coupon code FOREVER50 for that annual rate, or get it for $5 per month. Use the coupon code LISA5. That is less than a cup of coffee once per month to get that real truth of what is honestly going on in society. Please get there. But with that, what really is going on at the heart of all these layoffs is the fact that I believe we're already in a recession. I've said that already. But now we are being downgraded by Moody, right? A lot of banks have just been downgraded by Moody. Why we've seen so many layoffs prior to this downgrade, right? It's almost as if they knew this was coming. Take a look here. This is on dailymail.co.uk. Moody's cuts credit warning of 10 U.S. banks and warns that 6 more could face similar fate, but firm insists U.S. banking system is not broken. I do believe that it is currently in the process of breaking, however. It goes on. Wall Street's main stock index dropped Tuesday after Moody's slashed the credit ratings of several regional U.S. banks and warned it may also downgrade some of our nation's biggest lenders. And this just happened as of this month, right? It goes on. It says their new rating moves rattled investors and sent shares of the big four banks, U.S., J.P. Morgan, Bank of America, Citigroup, and Wells Fargo, down between 0.56% and 1.9% on that day. That is a massive downgrade. In a note explaining why they did it, Moody's analysts cited higher interest rates from the Federal Reserve's inflation battle, which I'd also say is Joe Biden, right? As well as looming mild recession and growing profitability pressure on banks. In total, the ratings agency downgraded the credit ratings of 10 small banks and even put 6 more of them on review for downgrade and affirmed the ratings of 11 more banks, but placed them on an outlook that is negative. This is a huge chunk of our banking system when you're talking about downgrading 10, putting 11 more on a negative outlook, and 6 are basically on review to see whether or not they will be downgraded. Now, here are all the banks. I'm not going to read them all, but I'll highlight them here for you, so you can kind of see some of those banks. And here's some of the ones that they assigned like the negative outlooks to, and you can see some banks there as well. But overall, this did cause a massive drop in the Dow Jones Industrial Average, which fell 158.64 points or 0.4%, while the S&P lost about 500, which was 0.4% there. And you can see NASDAQ also shed 0.8%. But don't worry, they say that there is no need whatsoever to panic. They always tell you that, and then the crap hits the fan. Again, mainstream media did not tell you when 2008 was going to happen. It just hit you like a ton of bricks. And I believe that this is something we're going to see as well. And by the way, I believe that this Moody rating is also because of the downgrade that was just given to the United States of America under the Biden administration. This is what Biden economics does to our society. We are all hurting and suffering under this administration. And now the Fitch has officially downgraded us to a AA+ from a AAA. This is huge news, very massive, and it came out just a couple of days ago. But Fitch downgraded U.S. long-term rating to AA+ from AAA. And this is on CBN News, but it goes on to say the reason why. And they say that the repeated debt limit, political standoffs, and the last-minute resolution have eroded confidence in fiscal management. And then also they go on to expand that the other reason is there has been a steady deterioration in standoffs of governance over the last 20 years, including on the fiscal and debt matters, notwithstanding the June bipartisan agreement to suspend the debt limit until January 2025. They also highlighted the rising general government deficit, which anticipates will rise to 6.3% of GDP in 2023 from 3.7% in 2022. Cuts to non-defense discretionary spending, 15% of the total federal spending as agreed in the Fiscal Responsibility Act, offer only a modest improvement to the medium-term fiscal outlooks. So that is what is going on. But don't worry, the Biden administration disagrees with the whole thing, right? Washington Examiner, White House, we strongly disagree with the U.S. credit downgrade. And don't worry, it's the Republicans' fault. Actually, it has nothing whatsoever to have to do with the Republicans. It has to do with the fact of Joe Biden getting us more and more into debt, attempting to pass all these handouts and gifts and giving away money like it's candy over to Ukraine, and then giving away our petroleum reserves, which there's not much left, if any, here in the United States of America, handing away things that are supposed to be for us in the event of an emergency, and even trying to pass out handouts now to college students, which got shut down at the Supreme Court level. But it seems he still wants to go around that and pass out more money. But somehow this is the Republicans' fault. It's not at all. This is what Biden does to our economy, and I believe he's purposefully trying to destroy it. This is why Moody is now downgrading banks. We have also the downgrade here in the our credit downgrade here in the United States of America. This is not good for our country. And this puts us internationally in a very, very shaky place. As long as Democrats are in charge at the White House, we're going to continue to falter. We need to get the right people elected in. Anyhow, I love all of you. And again, I hope to see you on restrictedrepublic.com. I'm Lisa Haven, signing out.